Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Mastery Supplies, and this is the Fivics Xenia Riser. This is one of my favorite risers for beginners, for young kids, ladies who are getting into archery. And we're going to talk about why this is one of my favorite risers. It's international fitting limbs, so they sort of clip in. So with beginner bows, some of them are screw in, the other ones are clip in, this is clip in. So price point is quite cheap, around $170. It's a painted finish. It comes in a whole bunch of great colours. You can see the paintwork is brilliant. Adjustable poundage. Now to adjust the poundage, locking on the back here, and then you wind it up and down. You've got adjustment for the limbs left to right here with a push-pull motion. So you loosen one, then push it with the other. You can see the little bracket here will move. Now I generally wouldn't move this unless your limbs are not sitting in the string groove. Okay, position there for your sights, position there for your clicker. A little thing screws in the front there for where the clicker goes. 2 plunger holes, so your plunger button goes there. If you're shooting an arrow rest that bolts on, the bolt on will be there and the plunger goes there. Now what I really like about this riser is the weight. 770 grams. A normal recurve riser will be about 1200 grams. So about half a kilo less than the average riser. Now most recurve risers are going to be too heavy for kids and beginners, and this is why I like this riser. Also the price point is great at $170. The equivalent limbs for it, the Fivics Xenia limbs, come in wood or foam. Same price, about $150, which is really affordable limbs, and I've had no warranty claims with any Fivics limbs ever. So really solid limbs. So now we're going to just talk about other recurve bows for kids and why I like this one. So the first reason why I like this one, besides the weight, is the grip. It makes your hand sit in exactly the right position. It's out, the hand grip is there, and it sits there automatically. A lot of the other grips in the marketplace, this is a bolt-on riser. A lot of kids will grab the bow like that instead of out to the side here. So the kids are going to whack their arms when they shoot, as opposed to not whack their arms. So I really like the shape of the grip for Fivics. That's personal preference. Look, I've shot all the different risers, and I'm going to say I think I prefer the Fivics. I would normally say I shoot about the same score with all the risers, but I shot slightly more with the Fivics, and that might just be I was practicing more. But I shot my best scores with the Fivics, so that's why I'm still shooting it today. So this is your base riser. Now this is an international fitting limb riser. So this is Xenia and this is Fivics. Now there's a difference in price point. This is $170 for the riser. This is basically $200 for the entire bow and limbs. But it's not the same product. Again, the grip, like you can hold your grip out correctly. But this will weigh around 1200, where this weighs 700. You can see the finish in the paint. It's not as crisp. So it's a cheaper paint. It's a cheaper paint finish. Now for a beginner, are you going to care it's a cheaper paint finish? This gets down to the archer, and a lot of people say, well, what would you choose? Well, it gets down to your budget. This bow is going to cost you basically $300. This one costs you $200. The limbs are better on the Fivics than the Xenia. The limbs are better finished. Now let's just have a look at the limbs. I know this is not the riser, but when you're buying a beginner's bow, you want to have a think about the quality of the product you're getting. But these are the crossing limbs. These are foam. You can get them in wood. Like, I don't have any issue with which ones you get. But foam limbs are not going to be affected by temperature. They're not going to twist. They're not going to warp. I prefer the foam limbs. You can see the quality there. They're a thing of beauty, and $150, super cheap. Now prices may vary based on the dollar and based on shipping and all that sort of stuff. But they're a nice product. Now this is the ginseng limb. So now everything gets back to a price. This is $100. I don't know how they make them for $100. I don't know how Fivics make the Xenia limbs for $150. Now the sides are not finished, so that means it's going to absorb moisture. It's going to, if it gets wet, you run the risk of it warping and twisting. You can see the finish is not, like the finish is not bad, but it's not the finish of the Fivics limb. This is a $100 limb, the other one's a $150 limb. What's $50? If you're looking for a budget bow to get started and you're like, well, I just want to get started in the sport, well, maybe you buy the $200 bow. Maybe you buy the $150 bow. Maybe you buy the $120 bow. But if you want to buy some quality, the Fivics Xenia is a really good choice in my view, with the limbs at $300. And I always sort of say to parents and people starting off, well, as you upgrade the limbs, you can sell them off. There's a whole bunch of people who want lightweight limbs and even mid-grade limbs because they're going up in strength. And you sell them off. So let's say they're a $150 retail limb. You might sell them off for $100. So it's cost you $50 to shoot a set of limbs. Now, I'm just recovering from heart surgery, and my strength, I can't draw back my bows. So I'm thinking I need a light, physical lightweight bow. I need light poundage limbs to allow myself to get back into the sport, because at the moment your chest gets ripped open and all broken. So I need light poundage. So I'm thinking for myself to get started back in the recurve, the Fivics Xenia limbs and the Xenia Riser is the ideal choice because it's nice and light. It's going to be maybe 1.5 kilograms total weight. Now, coming back from heart surgery, I'm allowed to hold 5 kilos. So it means I can shoot a recurve and start getting started in building up my strength and building up my fitness and becoming more flexible with that bow. Now you're going to say, well, your normal bow is still under 5 kilos, and it is, but I want to start off without putting strain on my body. Now if you're a kid, and I'm going to say a kid, doesn't matter how your age, start with a nice lightweight bow. You can always add weights to the stabilizers to build up the strength. And then when you want to move up to the 1.2 kilo bow, add the weights to the stabilizers on the Xenia. And then when you upgrade to the 1.2 kilo bow, take the weights off so then the bow weighs the same. And then gradually build the weights back up to build up more strength. So that's my advice. I'm a big fan of the Xenia. Now there's a whole bunch of other bows on the market from Win & Win called the Explorer. Same price point. I prefer the Xenia over the Explorer because of the grip, the weight. The Explorer is about 1,100 to 1,200 grams of weight. And I just think overall it's a nice package. Not that there's anything wrong with the Explorer, the Win & Win. I just think the Fivics is the best bow at that price point and weight. Now it wouldn't even matter how much that bow is priced at for kids, ladies, people getting started who are physically not looking for a heavy bow. I'd recommend the Xenia Riser because of the weight. There's really no other recurve riser at that weight point in the marketplace. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and I'll be shooting a Xenia to get started back in the sport, setting it up, putting some lightweight limbs on and sort of seeing how I shoot, and we'll do videos on that and see how much I've lost since the surgery. So anyway, I'm Stephen Hand. Thanks for watching. Bye.